architecture enthusiasts. Here behind me today, we have Neal Hall, measuring at 46,000 square feet, built in 1956. This building, along with two other buildings on campus, measure about to equal $2.2 million. The entrance features a crimped awning, breaking up the mundanity of straight lines and rectangles that surround the campus up until this point, as well as adding a more shapely and inviting visual to the campus. The lowest points of the crimping pushes the movement of those outside the building into the entryway. Speaking of which, let's go see what Kannie has to say about the windows.
On the side of the building, we see 5 rows of ribbon windows. These windows are used to keep the building connected both with itself and with the view of the outside of that at the time of its creation wasn't facing Webster. Let's check out the interior. Students today know it as a math building, but it was originally formed as a dorm for 207 students, only being changed for a math building in 1981 for $4 million, about 4 times the cost of the original construction.
First floor is the main public space, the rest being office spaces. And there are a few things to know. This area only has 2 classrooms and much higher ceilings than its vertical neighbors, which accentuates the public space. This in comparison to the lower ceilings and more private spaces. The addition of checkered flooring was very hip and trendy in the 1950s in America. Now it is a lovely retro touch. Recessed lighting is used in this building, but we see it won't be popular for another 20 years or so, making the building ahead of its time. Before the 1900s, WSU's original school colors were baby blue and baby pink. This was done after the infamous Peru sunsets. However, they were changed around the 1900s. Although the school colors had long been changed at the time of the Neal's construction, the pink and blue accents present here are a beautiful nod to the old color scheme. Now, let's go see what the rest of the building has to offer and see what Kannie has to say.
Here I am on the 3rd floor, standing next to a dorm room turned into an office space. The first thing of note is the low ceilings, which pushes people out of the hallway, decreasing congestion. This building was named for Judge Thomas Neal, one of the most instrumental leaders in bringing the colors forward. You can see that the color palette stays consistent throughout the entire building. Now let's check out the room. We're very lucky to even get a sneak peek into one of these mysterious and historic office spaces that are typically not for public access. This room demonstrates the size and scale for just how small each of the dorm rooms would have been. We can also see the ribbon windows that I previously mentioned, now highlighted here on the inside. Something amazing about this window is the volume of light it allows in, all the way from one wall to another. The last thing of note are the monochrome tiles illustrating the difference between the public corridor and the privacy of a personal room.
This brings us to the conclusion of our tour. Thank you, architecture enthusiasts, for tuning in to this week's Pullman Lux listings. This building has been a 68-room, 4-bath sets, 46,000 square foot Neal Hall, a true retro beauty. Tune in next week to see which building we will cover.